Good afternoon, friends. Stephen Ben-Nun and Yana Ben-Nun with Israeli News Live. And we have brought on some very special guests here with us tonight. Some friends that are part of the Lifewave. I'm not even going to go into this part right now. Our X39 product that we've been talking to you guys a little bit about. But we're really greenhorns at this right now. So we need to be able to bring some friends on that know this product. Know how this works as a business, as a distributor, whichever you prefer to do, or if you just want to be a customer. So we're going to share with you. We have Ashley, and I'm going to let you introduce everybody because you're better at names than I am. So go right ahead.
Sure. We have Todd and Shannon
Varnell. I can get that one.
And then we have Ashley Cameron. And welcome, friends.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're excited to be here.
Yes. And the reason that we brought our friends in is exactly what Steve said, that we experienced the product for about 2 months now.
2 months.
2 months. Steve a little longer than me, but we have a very, very interesting experience, especially I have a very interesting experience with it. Steve started to put it on me. I had no idea what he's doing. He just started to put patches on my neck every day. I removed it evening, and every day he was so adamant about putting them on, and I was even like, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing this? Like, nothing was helping me really. I really don't believe a patch can help me. But then after like 2 days, I started feeling better. I had my first feeling of hope or happiness, which I didn't have for about 2 years now, because we had this tragedy happen in December 2021, and I developed a condition called as post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, up till then, I always thought that PTSD is just no big deal. I thought, well, we always kind of joke and say, oh, I have a PTSD, until I had a real condition and I was diagnosed by psychologists. And I had 3 psychologists, and my condition went worse and worse. So psychologists actually recommended, because I didn't want to get on drugs, pharma drugs. She recommended that I go for ketamine treatment. Now, of course, it was kind of very brave treatment. It required anesthesiologist. It was invasive. It was even into my veins. And after ketamine, I felt really hopeful and good. And I thought that this is the answer. But after 5 days, I went back to hell, basically, back where I was. And here we go. We spent enormous amounts of money on this treatment, and it just basically didn't work. And I had to wait another 3 weeks for another treatment, like, because you can get it only like every month, one time, or sometimes only once in 3 months, because people can develop addiction to it. So at the time, I was going for those ketamine treatments because at least I said, well, at least I have 5 days that are normal. And I was so happy that I had 5 days, and I was trying to do everything I can within the 5 days. If you remember, friends, when we had shows with Steve, I would be missing for a very long time. And when I did show up, it was probably after ketamine. This is when I could actually do a little show with Steve. So I was taking advantage of that. But then I went back into really bad condition where I wasn't functioning properly. And I wasn't functioning in any area of my life. So we will go into this more deeply later, but and especially when we can talk about what happened to our family, which we can't talk right now. Go ahead.
And quite frankly, when it came to the X39 patch, I didn't know it would help with the emotional issues, the PTSD that Yana was suffering with. I knew that she suffered migraines. I knew that she also had some spinal issues similar to what I have, not quite to the point that I have them. So I just figured on those issues there. That's why I put the patch on her. It's only after the fact that we discovered that it can help in so many more areas than what you could ever imagine.
Well, and you know, the company does not advertise this patch for PTSD at all. So I kind of discovered it by chance, just totally by chance. And I don't know if this is going to help people in similar situation or not. I'm not sure. All I can speak for is what happened to me. That's all I can say. And what happened is that after 2 days, just 2 days, I started feeling better. And that feeling stayed. And now I'm on a week 6, something like that. Week 6, like the depression did not come back.
Oh, sorry. Yes. I would say
Right.
about that long.
And just life is better. I have hope again. And it seems like my the symptoms of PTSD, which were nightmares, flashbacks, enormous depression, and feeling of what I described as unbearable soul pain that I can't explain because there are no words to it. Well, those feelings are pretty much gone, and I'm on a week 6 where I function normal. So I can only say that I contribute this to the patch because that's the only thing I did different. If it is a placebo effect, then be it. But me listening to so many other people since then, I don't think it is a placebo effect because there's enormous amounts of people that have their own stories and testimonies. So here we go. And that's where Shannon, Todd, and Ashley comes in. So welcome here again. And please tell us a little bit about yourself and then your own testimonies.
Yes, thank you. I think speaking to the placebo effect, that I thought the same thing, but then realizing that most people don't expect it to work, I don't think it could be placebo. So it is really exciting to hear those testimonials, and I'm so thankful that you've shared yours and your personal story. I think this is going to help so many more people. A little bit of my background is that my major in college was health education. Didn't really know what I was going to do with it. My son was born 11 years ago, and through a course of events, I realized that I wanted to pursue natural health for my family. And so 2 years ago, I enrolled in a practitioner course and became a certified practitioner. And it's been, in the meantime, going through that course, I was introduced to Lifewave. Now, you've mentioned Manuel on your program several times, and he's actually my neighbor. And so I know him pretty well, and he's talked about your show and talked about your friendship. But he has suffered for years and years with restless leg syndrome, and to the point where his sleep is unbearable. He would settle down at night and just fidget. And I have known people with RLS, but his seemed to be just a very severe case of it. And so I know that throughout the years, he's spent literally he was telling me today, over $100,000 to help his case. And so I knew I've wanted to help him, and I've just kind of made it a mission, try this. And it got to the point where I knew that if I told him to try something, I had to be careful because he'd order a whole bunch of it. So with Lifewave, I was introduced to it, and I wasn't sure that it was going to work either. I had heard great testimonials, but I wanted to know people that it helped before I was going to promote it. And even like as a new practitioner, I wanted to make sure that the things I was promoting are reputable. And so I ordered a few sleeves, and I gave it out to friends and family just as samples. And I just asked for their honest feedback. And I was amazed at the things that came back in just a few days. And now they don't promote it as helping in a day or two. A lot of times it can take several months. We get sick over several years. So we have to, expect that it's going to take some time to heal. But my dad's sciatica, his nerve pain in his back that shot down to his leg, it went away in 2 days. I had friends that were sleeping better. I had friends that were athletes that were feeling like they could run faster and further. So these things were coming back into me, and I thought maybe there is something to this. And so I did introduce it to Manuel. And I want to read you what he said, just so I don't put words in his mouth, but he said, I started the X39 patches in July and progressively saw more and more relief. this was different because the relief was gradual and kept improving over time. Whereas things before that he would try, they would help for a short period of time and he'd get excited, but then it would all come back. But this was different. He said, today my symptoms are almost completely gone, but the biggest benefit is that I'm sleeping really well at night. So,
Wow.
I mean, sleep is everything. So even if
Yeah.
just that, I think that it's a huge testament to the product. And I'll say as a practitioner, and even like new and being very conservative about what I recommend to people, I felt confident about this because most people are on prescriptions or other supplements, and you have to be really careful about contraindications, things that will react with other things. And so, but this is such a simple concept, very similar to the way our bodies synthesize vitamin D from the sun. This patch works with your body and your body does the healing. And so there's not, I don't have to ask what prescriptions you're on, and I don't have to be educated in everything that's out there. So, this has been a huge blessing to a lot of people, and I'm really excited to see even, how this blesses your audience as well.
Yes, and you know what's important here, Ashley, what you said, that there is no drug delivery system.
Right.
It's like it's nothing you have to worry about that you're putting some supplement or drug into your body. Or some
Exactly.
people might misinterpret it that stem cells are not ethical. Well, that doesn't bring anybody's stem cells into your body, but I think it's X49 patch that only stimulates your own stem cells, and stem cells are basically already in our bodies. God gave them to us, So that's very important point that you mentioned.
Yes, and the great thing too, I've learned so much from Todd and Shannon. They've got incredible testimonials as well. So I would love to hear.
Yes.
And if you
So-
have any questions, let me know.
Sure. Thank you. So Todd, Shannon, how about your testimonies, and can you tell us a little bit about yourselves?
Sure. Well, thank you so much for bringing us on here tonight. Your story is just incredible. Both of your testimonies and truly the testimonies that Ashley is sharing tonight. And, for us, we're very similar. For me, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia 28 years ago. And, with this X39 patch, it does not treat or cure a disease. But what it does is it helps with the symptoms that we all battle going through different health crises. And so for me, I really came to this, as a woman going through menopause and really suffering with a lot of inflammation. And, so for me, I was having a lot of aches and pains. I was not sleeping well. I really hadn't slept well in about 4 years. And that just took a toll on my body. And I pretty much just found myself spending a lot of time on the couch, having no energy, really dealing with a lot of hot flashes and things that we all, as we age, we deal with. And, a friend of mine shared this phototherapy patch. So I have a patch here. This is what we're talking about, the X39 patch. And it's a phototherapy patch, just like they mentioned. It does not put a supplement or a medication in our body, but it activates the healing in our body and gets our body healing in the way our bodies were designed to heal, right? And so I thought, okay, you know what? And they say, give it a month for every decade of your life. So me going into this, I was thinking, okay, I'm in my 50s. So I'm going to give this 5 months. And, I honestly was also just feeling the weight of the world. My skin was just not as firm. I just felt like I actually looked at my husband and I just said, my 80-year-old dad is running circles around me. Like, I can't age this way. And I know you probably have a lot of viewers that can relate to that. And so a friend of mine shared about this and I thought, you know what do I have to lose? It seems a little crazy to me, but I'm going to give this a try. And so 6 months ago on May the 6th, that was my first patch date. And I can tell you, what I've experienced is mental clarity. The brain fog just cleared. And I didn't even know I had brain fog. And I just felt like that cleared. And then that first night, I slept 6 hours, which for me was like a million hours. And, over time, the aches and pains have gone away. Hot flashes are going away. I just have a sense of energy and a sense of vitality. I feel like I got my life back. I know you shared that. And for me, my story is different than yours, but in a lot of ways it's the same. I feel like, I have my life back. I feel like gravity is kind of going in the opposite direction, because this patch will help with inflammation, sleep, energy. It helps to boost the collagen in your skin. It helps with hair growth. At 54 years old, my hair is healthier than it's been my whole life. And so truly, I just can't believe the difference. For me, my dad, 80 years old, he put this patch in 3 days, his hip pain was gone. My mom, her arthritis in her hands, she is not feeling that anymore because of this patch. So it's just been incredible. And my husband, Todd, has had some great results as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I saw all that firsthand. I saw her hobbling around every day, feeling like she was 80, 90 years old. And she's like, what is wrong with me? Do I have MS or do I have something else? She just, something wasn't right. And so she was hobbling. She certainly wasn't sleeping. And she was, a lot of times wouldn't get off the couch because she had no energy. Her joints hurt, her muscles hurt. So, and one of the keys here is the fact that we heard this from someone that we trusted, right? And so it was like, second time hearing about it. And then once Mia called Shannon from California, and Mia comes from health and wellness for 38 years. She was like the original Miss Olympia Fitness USA, and so she said, guys, this is legit. And here's why. And she told us what it was doing for her. So once we got that out of the way, we trusted, okay, this was the real deal. And then, so for me, I remember the day one of putting the patches on, and I had forgotten I put it on. A couple hours go by. She comes up to me and she says, she goes, okay, sits down. She goes, okay, you're not going to believe this. And I said, what? And she said, I am seeing things so crystal clear right now. It's really freaking me out. And I said, really? I kind of didn't think much of it. And she's still looking at me with these wide eyes. And I said, well, call Mia and see if that's normal or, whatever. So she calls Mia, and Mia said, oh yeah, absolutely. We're having a lot of people respond that way, lifting the brain fog and almost like Windex for the brain type of thing. So, and then she proceeds to go outside and de-weed the whole front part of our house for about 3 hours, and I'm like, where is she at? And I go out and I look through the window. She's bending over, twisting, turning. I'm like, this is day one. This is a few hours in. So I was like, that's crazy. So, and for me, and like she said, she slept that first night. For me, I remember before going to bed, it was maybe 10:30, 11, and I was still alert like this. And that was my first, like, okay, that's odd. I'm not on the couch, doing the head knob, And so, so that was big. And then the biggest thing came, the victory for me, I guess, came 10 days in, and I had a 10-year neck pain. I had played college basketball back in the day, have a lot of wear and tear. And it was one of those things, I wasn't even thinking about my neck even being helped by the patch, because, I was so used to it. And I was used to, okay, it starts hurting, I'd pop 4 ibuprofen, which I never liked doing that. But I had to, you have to get rid of the pain somehow. So, and then that would lead to headaches and things like that. So, but I said, Shannon, look at this. And she said, what? And I start going like this, and I said, I have full range of motion. What is going on? Because typically I would be trying to constantly, all day long, stretch out my neck, trying to pop my neck and things of that nature, and kind of like be my own chiropractor, so to speak. And I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe my 10-year neck pain. Literally, I couldn't even feel it was there. I rarely will take ibuprofen anymore. And that's kind of huge. When you're doing that 3-4 times a week because of headaches and things like that. And it's undeniable is what it is. It's undeniable, the results. And the thing is, we look at our phones and we have testimonies coming in daily. I just heard new ones today, but they just blow us away.
Well, and the beautiful thing about that is, we've been doing this for 6 months. And, I think just naturally, when we started to feel this way, I thought, oh my goodness, like my dad needs this, my mom needs this. I started to think about people, and you all probably have done the same, just people in your life. Like we never started this, we started this because we had a health need. I had a health need, and it's turned into now truly sharing. We call this a gift. Like this is a gift. It's a gift of health for people. And it's just been such a blessing the last 6 months to see how, sharing this and what it's doing for people of all ages. And the great thing about this is it truly, optimum health. What is optimum health for all of us, right? It's different. We're all dealing with different things in our lives. But what I love about this patch is it truly helps to activate that optimum health in each and every individual, which is incredible. So we have all different types of testimonies from all different things. So yeah. I know we've talked a lot.
I just want to share one more thing, because when you look at the long-term benefits, that's, I was thinking, even if I didn't feel anything, when you see the long-term benefits, what the case studies show. And I had my father died at 58, like sudden, heart attack. His dad died at 57, heart attack. I just turned 54 the day after Thanksgiving. So you start looking at those things and you're like, wow, and so one of the long-term benefits is after 6 months of steady usage of the X39, it actually reverses your heart age, your vascular age, by a number of years after only 6 months. So I thought, even if I don't feel a thing, which I certainly do, I feel the effects, energy, and the neck pain, everything. However, even if I didn't, I would take this forever because of what I know it's doing internally, as far as benefiting my health long term.
Yes, and it's interesting how you mentioned hair, Shannon, because I always had nice hair. I had certain incidents in my life and they fall out, but it was due to some other things in my life and it came back. But one of our friends that is on those patches, and she's an older lady in her 70s. She had extremely
she started thinning hair, losing the front of her hair.
Yeah, like she had no hair here, right? And some lady that is doing these patches, or she's selling them, or she's a distributor for them, was sending her free patches. And she has been on them for about 3 months. And I just talked to her and she says, Yana, my hair is coming back. It took 2 months for me to see, but it's coming back. So I definitely want to stay on those patches no matter what. So I am about to send her some more. She is in her 70s. She is on a certain budget, but I just love to see when people get true help, when something is truly helping them. So that's interesting that you mentioned hair, because it's like a second time I'm hearing it. And for
absolutely.
me,
it is. Yeah, my daughter didn't even believe that she hadn't seen me in a while, and
we were FaceTiming her.
Believe that this was my real hair.
She thought she had extensions.
She thought that I had hair extensions in, and I just had to actually pull my hair to show her that it was my real hair.
And
so
then she says I'm her chia pet.
Yeah,
because I'm starting to
get a little
really?
You can't see it on the video, but it's actually
it's definitely up there. There's definitely some growth going. So that's
cool. Right. This is
I would say to people who are just just joining and just starting the product. I think the hardest thing that I've seen with people is just getting in the habit of wearing it every day. So
Yes.
just, you know, put it by your toothbrush. And so every single day, you know, you wake up and instead of swallowing, you know, a whole bunch of supplements, even maybe it replaces some of those and you're just sticking a patch on your body. Or maybe you have a loved one and you know they're not going to take a whole bunch of supplements, but just maybe they would stick a patch on their body. And so if they can get in the habit of doing that, the best practice is to wear it for 12 hours. You wear it during the day, the X39, you wear it during the day, and then you let your body rest at night. So you take it off for a break at night. The next morning, you put it back on, another one for 12 hours, and you take it back off. And the people that see the most benefit are the people who are consistent with it. So I've had a lot of people that they'll say it's not doing anything. I want to cancel. And I'll say, well, how many patches do you have left? You know, they've had it for a month and they'll say, oh, I've got 15 or 20 left. Well, they haven't been wearing it consistently. So if
Right.
it's worn consistently and, you know, maybe you see an effect in a week or so, maybe it takes 3, 4, 6 months, but in the grand scheme of things, that's still such a short time period to wait for such life-changing benefits. And some of those benefits you don't see necessarily, but they're working and it's working internally. So another way that I knew and was convinced that it was the real deal is that some of the people that I gave it to sample actually reported back to me that they had headache and even some nausea. And so I realized that is completely expected a lot of times, and especially if you're not hydrated well. But these are healing benefits. This is what some would call a detox effect. And so, you got to get the junk out. And sometimes that causes some headache and nausea. But for your listeners who might be starting the product, it's very, very important to go ahead and start hydrating even before you start using the product. It's going to expand the cells so that your cells are ready to accept the benefit from the patches. So even if, water, of course, but an electrolyte, even better, some sodium, potassium, magnesium, get that in your body, and that healing effect is going to not be so uncomfortable.
Yes, and that's Steve told me that because when he was on these patches, and he's still on a patch, but he started feeling that he has a needs of more water and electrolytes, like naturally he got more thirsty, right? And what was your benefit to it, Steve? You can tell people again.
Well, the benefit for me has been memory for the most part. And
Yes.
I am, because of the spinal injury that I've gone through, that's taken more time, but and naturally so, because of it's very severe. But the thing is at one point, I shook all the time.
Yes.
You would think I'd have, like some kind of
people
Alzheimer's or something.
like Parkinson's.
Right.
Like he had I was in a store with him and he was in a certain position and his hand was like this.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, like is he getting Parkinson's? And it was from the spine.
Yeah, I was shaking all the time. I don't shake at all anymore.
Right.
Wow.
And I could not go down to a floor and pick up anything.
Yeah.
If something fell on the floor, oh well, it's just going to stay there. But now I can just reach over and pick up anything I want without any problem.
Yes, in fact, that was when Steve told me, because Manuel was giving us these patches, and truly Manuel just he didn't push us to be distributors at all. He just said, brother, I know you have problems. I want you to be helped. I just want to help you. And Steve said, well, we are not really salespeople, so we'll see if it helps me. And he was quite skeptical in the beginning. And when he started to pick up things and go with ease to pick up stuff off the floor, this is when first time he told me, well, you know what? I'm starting to see benefits, something I never thought I will. Like, I'm truly seeing the benefits. And just the other day, like only a few days back, we realized that Steve has excellent memory now, and he truly suffered with memory. And we just discovered that, hey, look, my memory is like so good. I recall all
That's amazing. So it can also help your marriage.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Well,
I said that to Tim when I talked to Tim, because Tim
yes.
is closer to my age. I'm almost 60 years old. And so I told him, I said, there's other benefits as well. And I'll just leave it at that. That's all I said to him.
Right.
And
But
he
yeah.
started laughing. He says, I'm going to order it.
So when you have PTSD, that's really seriously a condition and diagnosis, you suffer in every area of your life and in relationships. It's just really, I don't want to, this show is not about what is PTSD. And one day, hopefully I can share what it is. I went through it. And I'm not saying I'm like 100% cured or anything, but I can say about how much would you say?
I can tell you from experience, a person that has PTSD, it's an emotional roller coaster for them. And all your loved ones around you are affected by that as well.
Major.
And I always knew when she had her good days, it's only going to last about 3 days and that's it. And then she's going to really have another hard crash again.
Or a nightmare or some sort
Anything
of a
that
flashback. And flashbacks where you didn't think, at the hour you don't even think it happens.
Right.
And then you totally irrational and you cannot help it. You just can't help it because
and then that lasts for days on end. You have no idea if it's going to be a week or 5 days, whatever the case may be. I have not seen Yana go through that type of situation again, probably in 3, maybe 4 weeks. Well, I'm talking about really consistently now.
So it's getting only better. And I mean, now we are before Christmas and just Thanksgiving. I was cooking the day before and a half a day of Thanksgiving, which last year you should see me. There was no Thanksgiving. So it's just really amazing for me.
Yes. And I think that God designed our bodies in such an incredible, miraculous way. And our bodies want to feel good. Our bodies want to heal. And so Lifewave makes absolutely no claims to treat or cure or heal. But when you give your body a tool that it can use, your body will do the healing. And regardless of any diagnosis, it doesn't matter, like you don't have to. A lot of people will say, can it help with, MS? Can it help with RLS? Can it help with dementia? Can it help with Parkinson's? So these are all things that we don't even have to know about. We don't need to know the diagnosis, from a medical perspective. I think that this is a tool and it can potentially help symptoms that you may be experiencing, but your body is intelligent and, God is the one that works in your body to bring the healing. So,
and we are Christians, so I will say along with this that patch, the way it came to my life, and at the time it came to my life, it actually kind of happened simultaneously. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. So I kind of gave it to God. I said, God, I can't handle this no more. I'm going to give it to you. And at the same time happened that Steve started putting patches on me. So I would say couple this with faith and believe and thank God every day for the way we are created, and we have a self-healing mechanism. And just as you said properly, Ashley, that if we give it proper tools, our body is designed to self-heal. So that's amazing. And all
right, I've got a little comical thing for you guys in on that, on the self-healing, right? A little off the subject, but it's on the subject, right? Years ago, in the company I owned, I ran across this one guy in South Florida, and he had became a unbelievable genius. He was dumb as a box of rocks to start with. He got hit in the head with a weight while lifting weights, and then he could play Chopin. Never played a piano in his life. He could play any of the masterpieces. That's how I met him. I was moving the piano for a concert for him. He could do all the kind of math calculations that only a genius could do. So I went around banging my head on everything, right? Same thing, kind of like with the X39 patch. When I first got it, and Emmanuel was telling me about it, and he knew that I had the spinal issues, so I'm putting it on for that. But I also knew I had memory issues, and I had no idea if any of this is going to work or help. So I stuck it back where he told me to stick it at there. And then I watched a few videos, and then I was going around, and this is no lie, right? I'm sitting there taking the patch, and I went, boom, maybe it'll open my brain. And I stuck it right between my eyes.
Yeah.
So anyway, who knows what all it'll do, but I think it's worth a shot for anybody to try. And I think that's where it
Yeah.
really comes down
Mhm.
to. And two, I think what people need to understand is how to get them, how this all works.
Right.
Because granted, yes, it is a business opportunity as well, but and I'm sure you guys, because we already listened, as Ashley has said, and Todd and his wife have talked about as well. Once you discover the benefits for yourself, the next thing you do, you're sharing it with everybody, your family, your friends, people that you know that are suffering, just out of a desire of compassion.
Yes.
So it's almost like the business aspect goes kind of like by the wayside because you want to help other people. But at the same time, because you feel so strongly about it, you don't have to be a salesman. People will just naturally want to try, because people are desperate, just like you guys have all already shared as well.
People are hurting. Doctors are not helping. Big pharma is not helping anybody. People are on 20 drugs at the age of 50 for blood pressure, for high cholesterol, for all, they're just filled with big pharma drugs, and they're getting worse and worse and worse. So doctors don't have the answers. We have to rely on God and our self-healing ability and natural tools. Basically, there is an opportunity, and it is rewarded also in a business way. So can you talk a little bit about that? Because people, when they're using this product and they don't want to have a business with it, they don't have to. They can just use product. But if you want to have a business with it, you can help others and be rewarded for your time that you put into it. So can you talk a little bit about that part?
Sure. Yeah. It's completely up to, the individual. Like you said,
Right.
I mean, someone, may just say, hey, I just want to use the products. I always tell people, hey, that's awesome. However, if you have an inkling that you might want to share it, then it might make sense to get involved that way. Cause you can get involved kind of, through a sign up in a very simple sign up process, while trying the products. And then that way you're trying the products, you have actually joined as a distributor. You don't ever, no one's going to be breathing down you don't have any boss to tell you have to do anything. So you never have to engage. However, when you start feeling the benefits, if you have such a good thing, then why not share it with people that you care about and everything? So, I know for us, we just right away said, man, we want to share this with everyone based on what we're seeing and based on, what's happening for us. I just wanted to also say for your listeners, there's a website to look, a general website. You hear us talking about the case studies, the science behind these products and things like that. It's actually a 19-year-old company. So the X39 is only a few years old. The company has been around for actually 19 years, which is really important. So it's a very stable, secure company. And since actually the very first patch they developed came out specifically for the Navy SEALs, because they needed a source of energy and stamina that wasn't adding a substance like, caffeine or some type of a drink or something like that. And that still exists, right? The energy enhancer patches as well. So the company was, doing fine. But since the X39 came out a few years ago, the company has just absolutely skyrocketed. So you can research that. There's a website. It's called thisisitinfo.com. So I'll say it again, thisisitinfo.com. And just that you can stay on there for hours and look at all the back studies and watch the different videos, learn about the founder, David Schmidt, and see what he's all about. Amazing man of faith that we've gotten to see twice in person now in Florida. Just absolutely amazing. So just want to point that out.
And there is Shannon, there is coming out some type of a convention that will be virtual. Can you tell us so people maybe can join that as well?
Yeah. So, Steve and Yana have a website that they can share with you. But yes, we're going to have a virtual convention in January. We've attended 2 of the Lifewave conventions, and they've just been absolutely fantastic. The information that you get, the science that you get. And then you also listen to incredible stories of people who have had their lives changed. And so, yes, there's going to be a virtual convention on January 13th that, we can get you the information for. And, that's what I love about this. It's really, it's a group of people that are out there, locking arms and helping people. And truly, like I said, we've only been doing this for 6 months. The stories have been incredible. And this is a worldwide company. So understand, we're able to help people not only here in the United States, but we're able to help people with their health and also with an opportunity worldwide.
75 countries.
And, for this opportunity for Todd and I, we're grandparents. My day today was spent with my granddaughter, 2-year-old granddaughter who was not feeling the best. And I just got to be Grammy today. I got to sit on the couch with her. I got to hold her. We got to play. Just because of this opportunity, as long as I have my phone, I can share these amazing patches with people wherever I go. And it's given me time freedom with my family. And, at the end of the day, to be able to offer that, health freedom and time freedom, it's just been incredible.
That is a
I'll say
blessing.
too, on the This Is It website at the bottom, you'll see like a panel from doctors. And I love looking at that because it just shows the credibility behind the product. But I also wanted to say that in order to partner with this company, you don't have to be a doctor. You don't have to know anything medical. You don't even really have to understand the technology. Anybody can do this. You just have to have a heart for helping people. And we all have somebody that we would hope would use the product. And so if you can think of that person, then it might be worth it for you to sign up as a partner, because you're going to, get your product anyway, but also potentially have, the opportunity to make a little bit of money back or make a lot of money back, depending on what you put into it.
Yeah, and we're going to go over all that more specifically on Sunday. If whoever wants to join
And
on
by
that.
the way, there is how many patents, and just quickly so people know, and then we can wrap it up, but how many patents and also clinical studies? Because there have been some clinical studies.
Yeah.
Well, the X39, I keep holding this up because this is truly what we're sharing with, what
That's
we're
one
sharing
sleeve.
about. This is where 99% of people get their start. This product has a patent on it for the next 17 years.
Right.
So when we're talking about a patented product, there is nothing else like this on the market. You can't go to Walmart, you can't go to Amazon, you can't go anywhere to get this. You need to get in touch with a Lifewave distributor, like Steve and Yana, and they can take care of you. They can help you. So that is so important. And looking at it from an opportunity standpoint, the fact that this is patented, the fact that there aren't any competitors out there, that's incredible. Now, David Schmidt, I believe he has 180 patents on different products, and is continually releasing things that, he's just absolutely incredible in terms of just cutting edge, so that's very, very exciting.
And then the X39 has 80 case studies based on 80 case studies.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yes, that's right. That's what I heard.
Yeah. And again, we'll go over a lot of that through with the PowerPoint.
Sunday. Okay,
right.
so let's.
One thing I'll just mention too, for those of you that are listening right now, to keep in mind, as we've said already, you can go in there, you can go to our website that we have, lifewave.com/Benun. That'll be in the description below for you, that you can go in there. We've already had about 30 people just sign up just to want to buy the product to try it out for themselves. Keep in mind though, if there is that possible potential, like Todd has shared, Shannon shared, Ashley has shared with you, that you might want to share this with someone else that could become a partner for you, and you could earn income from that. If you sign up as a distributor, you actually are getting the product in return for what you're paying as a distributor anyway. So the nice thing is, rather than just becoming the customer, if there is that possibility, go ahead and sign up as a distributor. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You could do a silver, which I think is like $299 or something to that effect there. It's not very expensive, but you're going to get that $299 worth of the product already.
Right.
And so you've already kind of locked yourself in. And then later, if you decide, oh, I want to upgrade or whatever, which is what I ended up doing, you can do that yourself later. But the point is, you've already taken care of both things. You've already, you became a distributor, you got the product as well that you're wanting to try out. And if you decide you're not going to end up enrolling anybody later, that's strictly up to you as well.
Right.
You know, it's not going to change one thing, but it just kind of helps give you that over the edge, part.
Plus it gives you the website right away, you know.
Yeah.
Then
Right.
also you have
And a
your own
discount,
website.
correct? If I'm not mistaken, I
Discount.
think you get a discount as well on the product. If
Yeah,
you're
the
a
higher up
distributor.
on the enrollment kits that you go, the more discount per sleeve you would get. And chances are, if you have a family, if you're married, that you're going to want more than one sleeve anyway.
Right.
Exactly. That's what we ended up doing. Just we are giving it to our family members,
Right.
you know.
And then it's kind of like a little
Yes.
argument. Give it to me. No, give it to me. No,
Yeah.
give it to me. You're not getting any. I'm going to hide the patches from you, girl.
We've had some of
They
that
are
happen
like
over here.
gold, yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
you do
well,
just
let's wrap it
naturally
up.
want.
We're
to
gonna
get
talk
away.
more about this on Sunday. Then we have this Zoom with you guys, and
Yes.
a lot of people that already signed up with us to come to that Zoom meeting. So I'm looking forward to that. So.
Yes, and on the Zoom meeting, we will get more right into the questions that you have,
Right.
how this works, everything.
You can ask.
We just wanted to take right now with Ashley and with Todd and his wife and everything to share some testimonies with you, give you a little bit more insight of what's going on with this right now. So definitely, like I said, we'll have the information, both websites, the one that Todd mentioned a moment ago. This is itinfo.com. So that way you can go ahead and start educating yourself more about the product, what it does, what the benefits are, things like that, and our own website as well. So if you want to go ahead and sign up while you're there, you can. There is one little thing though. It's going to ask you, if you go to our website, were you referred by anybody?
Were you recommended?
Or recommended
You
by
have to
someone,
say
right?
No.
Just say no, because you're already on our website is the issue. So
Right.
you don't have to have any special code or anything. So
Right.
a lot of people run into that. Want to make sure you guys were aware of that. Ashley, Todd, Shannon, thank you so much for
Thank
being with us
you.
today.
Yes.
And I know a lot of people will be blessed by listening to the encouragements that you guys have. And I think that's going to just inspire more people to want to try this out for themselves to see what benefits they may get. 'Cause
Yeah,
we
I'm
get-
excited to hear back how it helps people. So
And we
Absolutely.
truly appreciate you. And I do love your hair, Shannon.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so
You look
much.
beautiful.
You're so
Good
sweet.
mind,
And so
Gordon.
you, Ashley, you look beautiful too.
well, thank you.
Thanks so much
This
for
is a
inviting
blessing.
us on. We're so blessed to be a part of Lifewave, a part of this community, and just to see where this goes, the possibilities of truly, I believe with this, we will change millions of lives
Yes.
together, and it's just a blessing to be a part of it. So thank you so much for inviting us on.
Yep. Thank you.
I'll see you Sunday.
Thank
Okay.
you.
We'll
See
see
you
you then.
Sunday. Bye.